The Jasper Utility Service Board approves the hiring of a firm to study Beaver Lake, our weekly report from the Du Bois County Humane Society, and Inform featuring 4-H Council member Sarah Betts. Those stories and much more are up next here on 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. In your news, a drowning at Patoka Lake claimed the life of a 3-year-old boy yesterday afternoon. Indiana conservation officers say 3-year-old J.C. Stallings of Deputy had been swimming from a boat near the Little Patoka boat ramp at about 3 p.m. yesterday afternoon when the drowning occurred. Officers say several boats had been anchored together offshore with the boat that Stallings had been swimming from. Witnesses say Stallings was wearing a life jacket while swimming, but he removed it after exiting the water due to wanting to warm up after being cold. After one of the boats left, the group noticed that Stallings had gone missing and a search began. Stallings had last been seen sitting on a cooler along the edge of the boat just before he went missing. He was found just before 4:10 p.m. yesterday afternoon by divers and was taken to Harrison County Hospital where he was treated but later pronounced dead. Crawford County Sheriff's deputies, Crawford County EMS, the English Volunteer Fire Department, and Air Evac all assisted. Indiana conservation officers urge everyone to wear life jackets in or around all waterways, whether swimming, in a boat, or along the shore. Last night, the Jasper Utility Service Board approved the hiring of Evansville-based Morley & Associates to conduct a study on the water levels at Beaver Lake. The study comes on the heels of a public feedback session on the lake that was held last month. Utility Board Chairman Wayne Sheeter says recommendations from others and the company's proximity to Jasper made Morley & Associates the logical choice to do this study.
Well, they're not far away, for one thing. They're based in Evansville, and they've done a lot of engineering on dams. And they came recommended as one of several from the DNR who oversees our lake. And so we decided, okay, that'd be a good firm to go with.
The study will not cost more than $8,000 per the city's agreement with Morley & Associates. The agency must seek the city's approval to spend more than the $8,000 amount should problems arise. Sheeter says getting the lake level back to where it should be will be very important for both residents and others that use the lake.
People have gotten used to having a certain level out there, so their dock, whether or not they need to move their docks. The other level is, just making sure the level in the lake is high enough so they're safe boating. Whenever you have a lower lake, you've got things that were further below the surface. Now you got to keep an eye on them. And the other thing is make sure there's plenty of water in the lake in case we need it as a backup water source. So I think there's several things involved.
New Gas and Water Superintendent Ernie Hinkle said warning buoys and swimming pool lane markers will be put up near the spillway to warn boaters of its location and the water levels around it. Also last night, the Utility Board heard from Utilities General Manager Bud Hauersperger concerning a reorganization of the Gas and Water departments. With Hinkle's recent promotion to Gas and Water Superintendent, Hauersperger told the board that he has begun to advertise the distribution foreman position internally and hopes to fill that position from within. Hauersperger also says he hopes to create a position for a gas water locator and to get the gas and water departments on the same on-call policy as the rest of the utilities. Currently, gas and water employees on call is on a volunteer basis where employees volunteer to be on call during a certain week. The other department employees are paid a certain dollar amount per week that they are put on call, plus any other applicable wage. Finally, last night, the board addressed the 3rd Avenue Water Project and how to move forward. Project engineers suggested during a recent Water Committee meeting that the project should be bid out within the month of August. The board set a Wage Committee hearing for August 8th and appointed Dave Herm, who has worked with the board in the past, to represent the committee at the wage determination hearing. A 3-car crash in Jasper yesterday morning left 2 people injured. Jasper police say 36-year-old Maria Martinez of Jasper was westbound on Indiana Street at the intersection with US 231 just before 9:20 a.m. yesterday morning when the accident took place. Police say Martinez either didn't look or failed to see a car driven by 66-year-old Carolyn Schmidt of Jasper and pulled out into the intersection. Schmidt veered westbound, thinking that Martinez would stop. Martinez's car hit the rear part of the driver's side of Schmidt's car. The impact caused Schmidt to spin in a counterclockwise motion and wound up facing eastbound, where her car collided with a third car driven by 41-year-old Hendrickson Dunham of Francisville, Illinois. That impact caused Schmidt's car to end up facing northwest, and Dunham's car wound up facing south right in the middle of Indiana Street. Schmidt complained of chest pain, and Dunham complained of pain to the lower back and right arm. Neither one was transported to Memorial Hospital for treatment. Martinez was not injured. Martinez's car suffered $5,000 in damage, Schmidt's car suffered $7,500 worth of damage, and Dunham's car suffered $5,000 in damages. Martinez was cited for operator never licensed and failure to yield the right-of-way. A Jasper Boy Scout was recently recognized for efforts with the Indiana State Police. Over the last year, Luke Upton of Jasper has helped out the Jasper post of the Indiana State Police by restoring the sign along Newton Street in front of the post. The Indiana State Police have been working out of the same building at the Jasper post since 1938, though it is unknown when exactly that the sign was installed. Upton noticed that the sign was in need of repair or replacement and asked Lieutenant Don Bolin if he could work on it as his Eagle Scout project. Bolin gave his permission, and Upton began coordination of his work with ISP employees Rich Clark and Brian Friesen. Upton completed his fundraising in a few months' time with help from the Indiana State Police Alliance. After raising the money, Luke supervised several other scouts and adult volunteers as they removed the old sign and moved several tons worth of dirt, rock, and tree roots from the area. With help from the Jasper Street and Utility departments, a tree in the area that was growing into utility lines was removed, and the sign was moved a short distance west from where it was originally located. After all necessary materials were purchased and the location was prepared, the new sign and landscaping were put into place. Lieutenant Bolin praised Luke's work and said the Jasper Post was thankful to have been a part of his Eagle Scout project. Luke received his Eagle Scout Award on Sunday during a ceremony at Precious Blood Church. Coming up after the break, our weekly report from the DuBois County Humane Society, plus your local forecast, sports with Kurt Gooksell, and Inform featuring 4-H Council member Sarah Betts. That's all up next here on 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.